Alright, here we are for another Battle Rally. This is number 4, I think. Let's go ahead and get this started. A normal boost. That's not fantastic. That is definitely not fantastic. Okay, whatever. And then we got the tech and support boost here. Wait, I think that was similar to one that I had prior. I think, is this the same? This may be the same exact, or very similar to one that I had before. Oh well. I'll have to go see what the areas are, and then yeah, let's go ahead, hop into these battles, have a bit of fun. Before that, I found this crit power up, which increases the damage of crits by 100%. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just buy that because that is the most powerful upgrade probably in the entire shop for its price. Very good stuff. Whatever, let's go ahead and go to the battles now. Sorry about that. Here's the first battle. Very simple, very easy one against the New Year's Dawn Battle Challenge, which was for New Year's Wallace and Claire. So a very new battle challenge, obviously. So obviously the gimmicks for this one is they have Sentry Entry ×2, which we literally do not care about. Just gonna put that flat. We just straight up don't care. I didn't even know that they had Sentry Entry, honestly. But hey, cool, whatever. I could have, if it became a problem, I could have just swapped out for another tech fire damage dealer. I'm sure there's another one out there that I just can't remember of. Like Serena, right? Not a bad one. But this isn't difficult at all. Just go very straightforward nuking with a, not Champion May, Signasu May. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with the Neo Champion May stuff, right? We're gonna get Hoa Neo Champions probably this year. I could see it happening this year for sure, but there's also the chance that like it doesn't, because I feel they would do Neo Champions as a trio with like either Wally or Zinnia or something like that, but also, I mean, they just might not. So we could see, you know, Hoa Neo Champions for December, so you know, in like 10 months. Right? And obviously there's the chances for anniversaries, but let's just hope not, right? We want that Paldea and Vola sweep, right? Whatever. But yeah, not a bad battle challenge. Our first stage to start out with the battle rally here. This battle rally actually was the battle rally that I uploaded. I don't know if it was the last battle rally or the one before that. But it was the one that we ended off with facing Palmer. It's the exact same lineup of roles by boost, because the last one is Striker and Tech, which I remember, but the one before that is Striker and Sprint. So as I checked, because of Pokemon Masters tools, again, thank you to SDDK for that tool and whatnot, the only single boost that I have beyond a 1.5 times boost is Ray with the Striker and Sprint. So yeah, we're missing out on a few points here. But yeah, let's go ahead, hop into the next battle where we face Wallace Psychic Week. Not a bad one either. So this is a battle where I could have opted to use a field character off type, because obviously there's no psychic field characters yet. I am pretty excited for some of these field characters, by the way, for different roles. Like, obviously we have Steel, but I mean, that one's iffy. Like Psychic, Poison, these type of typings that, yeah, these types that could definitely use the buff and strength in their zone. Flying, right? People are very pissy about Anniversary Skyla, which, hey, I like her. Come on, man. Don't hate on the girl, all right? But obviously, you know, she's definitely like more gimmicky at minimum, you know, to put it mildly, than what she was before, right? But whatever. For this setup specifically, we could have opted to use a field character off type, but this one, being a Psychic Week stage and one of the earlier boosts, we just go ahead and we use Striker Sabrina, because Striker Sabrina used to be pretty good back in the day. Obviously not like, I don't think she was greater than Giovanni, especially not back during the second anniversary once Giovanni got his great expansion and especially Mega Evolution, and all the other psychic options available. Like Lear was also available at the time, right? But Sabrina was like, at least back during the like 1,500 point master mode meta, still a quite competent psychic striker, and obviously now with no points needed for these stadium stages, and obviously having the boost from normal types with Cheryl, as well as the critical hit damage multiplier, is definitely enough to make Sabrina actually competent at being the stage as a striker, which is very good. You get to see these setups a lot more now, these very niche setups. So yeah, let's move on to the next battle. Good old classic sprint and field pairings, the ones that's the bane of everyone's existence just because of how how new the roles are, right? So we use Neo Champion Nate and Aura Cynthia along with Archer here for this setup, and we actually end up using Aura Cynthia and Nate for another battle after this one, because they just worked well enough being under the boost and whatnot. I think it was actually, Sprint... Was it Sprint and Strike, I think, after this? I forget. No, yeah, actually it was Sprint and Strike, I believe, because we could have used Ray for it, but I opted to save him for later for another strike and sprint booster. But obviously this is just bullying at this point. I should have done some different stuff with Nate, because we could have saved him for a third battle, but he had no trainer moves left by the time we got to that point, so I could not use him, right? Because Nate, in order to get all of his buffs, needs to use a trainer move. He had no Universe Circle, and he had no trainer moves left, which was very, very annoying. So obviously that's my fault, because I didn't think about it at the time. I didn't think of using Nate 3 times in a row, but really it didn't matter all that much. I just swapped out Nate for someone else, and you'll see that soon. Either way, the crit power is stupidly strong. We are out of buffs for ourselves because we're not using normal types, right? We're just at our normal base stats, but the 100% crit multiplier is carrying us, and it carries us the entire battle. I'm not kidding you. Absolutely absurd. And here is the battle versus Melanie here. We use Norman here for the strike, obviously, boost and whatnot, but he's also normal type, so he's giving us that 100% stat buff, right, from the boost we started out with, which is great. But for this one, that's the only reason we're using Norman here over, what's his face? The Archer, right? Yeah, because Archer obviously probably would have been a better boost. This is what I meant here, and that we ran out of trainer moves, right? I used all my trainer moves here in order to just pass the turns with Nate, so we can nuke him and just decimate him, right? And I didn't save him for the next battle, because the next battle is actually Dragon Week, which would have been really good for Nate to just obliterate, but obviously, as you can tell, I completely lack that. This is where the crit damage multiplier really shines, because obviously this is off-type, and it's in a battle challenge, where battle challenges tend to have more health and more strength overall than raw, pointless stadium battles. But thankfully, Nate is just so strong, and obviously the buff for normal types and crit multiplier is just enabling us to do so much damage. Goodbye, right? Absurd character, yeah. I should have saved one of his trainer moves, preferably probably Unit of Passion, for the next battle, because again, it is Dragon Week, but I, again, just forgot about it. My bad, right? Yeah, I need more EX roll units. I really do. Let's face Iris, I guess. Right here is the battle versus Iris here. Again, I had to swap out Nate, which would have been better to not do, but again, I'm stupid, didn't think about this, and I also did not know, obviously, it'd be Dragon Week, because we're not using the CL scope. Either way, this is a Striker and Tech boost, I believe, so we just use Cynthia and Cyrus here, and we use Tank Eve here, because she's got the dodge and whatnot, right? Which doesn't really proc until later. She just kind of takes these attacks point blank, and obviously now this is where you start really seeing the ramp up in enemy strength, because we obviously are running on very minimal boosts, so you can see, especially due to being a tech character, not a support character, Eve is obviously not doing the best in terms of taking damage. Nearly goes down there, right? But really it didn't matter, because Cynthia, combined with the Clinging Scales and Cyrus's what's it called? Spatial Rend. Yeah, Spatial Rend is just going to be enough to obliterate this stage into complete oblivion, right? No real issue. By the way, don't see anyone talk about it enough. Cyrus and Cynthia got probably one of the better dynamics in this game. Another one of those relationships that is like not taken at all anywhere in the main games. It is actually fleshed out a little bit more in Pokemon Masters. I love Cyrus and Cynthia. It's a great combination. Wouldn't say I ship them, but both just their dynamic is really interesting. So let me know if you like Cyrus and Cynthia's relationship in this game. That'd be nice. And this little effect here really pissed me off, because I thought it was a lucky area, because it took forever to shine. Why? Area versus Flying Week Lucian. I forget if this guy's Wise Entry or something, because for some reason this battle was a little bit more difficult to do, but I was also trying to use DPS Winona, which I guess in itself is not really going to lead me too far. But she does have a lot of multipliers, so I mean, she should have done better damage than what she did, but whatever. Either way, it doesn't really matter too much. We go ahead and confuse them with Anniversary Skyla here. This is a tech and support boost, I believe. Obviously, actually, yeah, no shit. But we go ahead and apply the Flying Zone and Rain and whatnot, and use Giovanni to max out not max out, but marginally buff the stats for Winona and Skyla, so we can actually not have to rely too much on the low stats to actually win here. Doesn't really matter too much. Go ahead, do the turn denial on that side there. This is not a bad setup, because we're able to do double attempts at confusion, or not confusion, flinch, because we've got the 30% flinch chance on Giovanni's Bite, as well as the 30% chance with staggering, and then I think another 30% chance to stagger from the grid for Anniversary Skyla, right? So, got a lot of chances to go for some flinches and get some turn denial in here. Not that we necessarily need it, but it would be nice, because these enemies do hit a little bit harder than what I would like to like to think about, but obviously also having Giovanni here with his normal type buff does make it a lot easier. I tried this before with special costume Jasmine, and she got obliterated. One physical attack and she was just cooked. So obviously changing out for Giovanni was better for the 100% stat buff. That definitely did make the difference, obviously. Go ahead, queue up our sync move here. Pretty sure it KOs with no issue. This guy still got a pretty solid nuke, especially on-type, right? She obliterates on-type stages without any issue, and the nuke is not bad at all. 53,000. I would cry if that didn't KO. Good lord. And then, of course, Hurricane with foul fighting. I probably could have given... Yeah, I probably should have given Winona a crit strike or something like that, but oh well, I'm not really too worried about it. Winona needs like an EX first before I consider giving her all too much. Oh well, whatever. There was Area 6 down, and let's go to Area 7, where, by the way, we still have not bought any items. Alright, here's where battle difficulty really probably started to get the most annoying. Actually, no, I think it was the next battle, not this one. We go ahead and use Rosa and Red here. I think the boost is support and field, because obviously Wally being support and whatnot, right? All that stuff. Red has +1 special attack. I didn't even notice that. I didn't pay attention to that in the battle, but it really didn't matter all that much because Red still just does really solid damage, especially at this point in the battle where we are using Wally here for that normal booster, and then of course still got the crit damage booster. So once we start getting those crits is when we really start doing good damage, right? Would it be better if we could get some random buffs here with Rosa for our special attack, but obviously I'm not going to worry too much about that because it doesn't really matter all that much. Red is still doing really good damage despite the fact, so again, not really all that worried about it. And then Rosa's going to start doing some, I guess, chip damage when she starts critting, because again, that multiplier is crazy. That multiplier is cracked for the crit damage multiplier, right? Literally, again, as I said, that's the only item I bought throughout this entire battle rally. 50 points was the only thing spent, and that was definitely the best possible investment that I could have done for sure, because crit damage is just the best way to do damage in this game, like unconditionally, right? So if you land a crit, things are just, things are dead, especially here in the battle rally. And we start ramping up our physical moves next, I guess, with Rosa, but yeah, it doesn't matter. We're still spamming our Giga Frenzy plants. We probably could have finished them off with the Razor Leaf if we wanted to, but hey, we don't need to do that. I went ahead with the mini potion for Walla here in order to just make sure we have the most healing possible on Red and Rosa, because I'm pretty sure I used Red for the next battle, and I know I used Rosa for the next 2 battles. I actually start using Rosa a lot here, because this is the point where we get, I think we got support, sprint as the boosts, which means that Rosa can be used 4 times in a row, which is definitely the best because she's, again, in my opinion, probably the best unit in the game for the battle rally. Let's go ahead and face Phoebe here. This was probably the single hardest battle of this entire battle rally. It's Area 8, not even Area 9, because this is where we use Victor to try and do on-type damage, but for one, we're missing our normal type, so we're out of that 100% booster right there, right? And we are obviously using Ghost Zone, which is empowering Phoebe. So we have to find a way to make sure that Victor doesn't screw us over with his Ghost Zone. So my idea was to go ahead and put them to sleep here, because I know that the Chandelier on the side there tends to use like Heat Wave and moves that are not Ghost type. So we're trying to, at this point, just stall out the enemy, and also debuff them with Razor Leaf from Red because of the attack and special attack down on it, which was super helpful, 100%, super helpful stuff. We go ahead and go for some more debuffing, and I think we go for Rosa's, God, we go for Rosa's move, and there finally the Ghost Zone does go down, so we don't get obliterated from the Shadow Balls and whatnot now. So the Ghost was pretty bad. The Ghost Zone was pretty bad for this until the very end where we could really ramp with it. We go ahead, go for Rosa's nuke, and then we go for the max move as well with Red, so we can actually start doing damage with him, because I wanted to have the grassy terrain up where Red could do the most damage, and obviously having the support EX here was our best chance to do the most damage. I go ahead and quad Q Rosa's trainer move. Not the best trainer move because we are obviously getting the physical moves next from it and not the special moves next, which is what we want, but I just wanted to quad Q with Rosa, so I went ahead and did that. I don't think it was too important actually, but who cares, whatever. We max move with Red, get the grassy terrain up so we can actually start doing some good damage and debuffing the enemy special defense, so then we could actually end up finishing this off with Victor's sync move with the Ghost Zone and whatnot, because as you can see, Red is now starting to ramp up damage pretty damn good. And obviously Victor is doing nothing still, but I mean, I guess that's fair. Because we still do have the max move with Victor in the back here, so we can do some very, very good damage with that, which is pretty much what we're banking on in order to actually win here, because 1 turn left, Got to be careful of that. Either way, Red is still doing absurd amounts of damage and debuffing the special defense, so our max move and Shadow Balls and also the other Giga Frenzy plans will end up doing more and more damage. I don't think it ends up mattering, though, because we end up KOing game here, but basically what I was worried about for the most part was obviously having Phoebe under Ghost Zone using Shadow Balls and Ominous Winds, which were just obliterating Rosa. She was getting down to like 10% health from full off of a Shadow Ball boosted by the Ghost Zone. But thankfully, didn't matter too much. Red was able to clutch in, and towards the end, as well as Victor with his Sync move and Max move now under Ghost Zone, was very, very important for winning that battle. Victor being the only Ghost field, hey, it's fine. It worked out for this battle. And whatever, there you go. There was Area 8 done. Area 9, nowhere near as hard, and you'll see why. It's so funny. So not wanting to repeat my mistake with Phoebe, we go ahead and face Ghost Week Wickstrom here. Yeah, I don't know why I'm getting a lot of Ghost Week stages, but whatever. We faced Ghost Week Wickstrom here with Ray and Hugh, obviously, under the normal type boost now. So we're obviously doing a lot better now with the normal type boost. I don't know if we could have won this battle if it weren't for the exact sync pairs we were actually using right here, and I guess the little bit of luck we got here towards the beginning because we did get some very lucky like sleeps and whatnot with Rosa's trainer move, so that was actually obviously very, very, very helpful. This is at the point where we just start spamming Headbutt with Hugh. He is only here as a Headbutt spammer. We could use him for damage with not Zen Headbutt, what? No, Head Charge and whatnot, but we don't really need to. It doesn't really matter too much. Could have probably gone with Rosa's Sync move for the sprint and support EX countdown and whatnot, but it doesn't matter. We go ahead and go for Ray's Sync move here just to get as much damage in as possible. Again, realistically, probably would have been a better idea to go for Rosa's Sync move for the support EX, but I just opted not to in this situation, and it really didn't matter because this is where we start doing sleep flinch chaining with the 30% chances to flinch between Ray's triple arrows and Hugh's headbutts, and the guaranteed flinches with Ray's triple arrows barrage, as well as the 30% chance to put the enemy to sleep with Rosa's buddy move. We just essentially chain lock Wickstrom here, and he's just unable to move. He is effectively unable to do absolutely anything for pretty much the rest of the battle because we literally just flinch lock him and just barrage him with Ray's triple arrows barrage, triple arrows, his sync move, and obviously all getting boosted under Rosa's physical move next buffing and Hugh's normal type booster and whatnot. So we just we're effectively cheating is what I'm saying. We're effectively cheating. We're putting him to sleep. We're flinching him to death, and he's literally just not able to move. I don't think it would have been all that bad if he did get any attacks off because I don't think it would have done all that much damage anyway, but really it doesn't. We don't have to test that theory because he doesn't get to play the game. We get to play the game, he does not. This is bullying, right? This is effectively bullying, and it's fun. I will be first to say bullying in this game is fun. Okay. There's going to be some underlying connotations of that, especially by a couple people who are not very into me as a person, but hey, whatever, that's fun. Because guess what? Wickstrom's dead. Just like my channel's about to be. Anyway, so yes, there we go, finish him off with Hugh and whatnot. That normal type booster was definitely very, very useful for this, but now, also strike and sprint booster, that was what the stage was, but now it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead, face the ultimate battle, which is Lucy. This ultimate battle was so incredibly easy, I don't think I can word it any other way. This ultimate battle was just so easy, surprisingly. The biggest problem was that obviously strike and tech. That is a pretty big issue to deal with, especially against Lucy here, who AoE poisons. But guess who has the most unnoteworthy passive that has never been more useful except right now? New Year's Licia with Team Antitoxin. Not a useless passive, right? Because poison immunity is good and all, but it has not shown brighter until this very moment where we're actually able to use Licia. By the way, it would have been infinitely better. I don't know why I didn't do it. I'm a fucking moron. It would have been easier to just go for Courtney's sync move here. I don't know why I went for Alicia's. Brain didn't work, clearly. Or just go for Roxanne's even without the crit. But whatever. Either way, so it doesn't matter that much. This battle was so easy, and you can literally just watch it and see. Courtney's able to tank the enemies' different attacks and whatnot, not like effectively, right, to where she's taking no damage. She does take damage, clearly, but it doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. because they just don't do all that much damage. They do enough damage to where someone like Courtney can actually tank. Obviously, Courtney does get special defense and defense buffs, right, which are good and obviously helping out with the tanking. But really, it doesn't matter all that much. It doesn't matter all that much because we don't end up taking all that much damage anyway. No support character here, no Master Fair buffs or anything. Our only defensive utility here is raw defense and special defense buffs. That's literally it. And obviously with the physical sync move, it did nothing to Courtney at all. Definitely would have been better to have Mega Camera up by this point already before this point. Yeah, that's how that sentence works. Before this, because we would have had the Mega Stats from Camera Up, which would have been better for our defenses and whatnot. And of course, getting the Wise Entry and whatnot there would have been better, but it just didn't matter. My Roxanne's 1 out of 5 and Lisia's 1 out of 5, as you saw, and Courtney 4 out of 5, I think. And it didn't matter. This is very, very easy. Again, I didn't buy any items other than the normal type booster that we had at the start, which isn't even active here, as well as obviously the 100% crit boost multiplier. That was it. That was the only thing activated here, which I'm not going to say it didn't make an impact. I'm going to say it probably did, but really, that's still such an easy thing to buy, right? Such an easy item to buy, and you could have just you could just spend like another 50 to 100 points and probably match the same thing here by using like any other type or something like that. I don't know. Either way, we decimated this battle rally with very little issue. The most issue we had was versus Phoebe there, but you all didn't even notice that issue because obviously I edited it all out. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad either. We finished off with 7,850 points because, again, my only EX roll booster was Ray, but we did use a lot less points this time with the only having used 50 for the critical hit boost at the very beginning and then having to buy literally nothing else. So there it is. That was my battle rally for this week. That was number 4, I think, of the battle rallies I've done. I've got the one in the back pocket here just in case like I need something to put out or something, but whatever. I'll see you all later. Hope you all enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the battle rally and how many points you got for this week and whatnot. I need to EX roll some units, but again, we're waiting for the half anniversary, so TikTok, I guess. Please, come sooner.